Lesson 3, Analysis Methods. Section 3.2, Loop Current Method. Let's apply the loop current method to the same circuit as in experiment 3.1.1. There are three closed loops in this circuit. They are labeled loop 1, loop 2, and loop 3. In this course, every loop refers to a closed loop. The first step of the loop current method is to identify independent loops. An independent loop should be unique, and it cannot be expressed by any combination of other loops. Every component in the circuit should be included in at least one loop. We can select two of the three loops in this circuit. Loop 1 and loop 2 can be chosen as independent loops. Loop 1 and loop 3 can be another option. Alternatively, loop 2 and loop 3 can be chosen as the last option. Among these three options, let's select loop 1 and loop 2. Assign a loop current to each loop. In this circuit, I1 and I2 are assigned to loop 1 and loop 2 respectively. Express I1 as a function of R1, 2, 3, V1, and V2, by applying Kirchhoff's voltage law, KVL for short. According to KVL, around loop 1, V1 equals R1 plus R2, times I1 minus R2 I2. Around loop 2, negative V2 equals negative R2 I1 plus R3, times I2. These two equations are rearranged into a matrix equation with two vectors. We call this the resistance matrix. I1 and I2 can be obtained using the inverse of the resistance matrix. Experiment 3.2.1, Application of the loop current method to the results of experiment 3.1.1. These were the readings of V1 and V2 on the voltmeter in experiment 3.1.1. I1 and I2 are calculated from the measured values of V1 and V2 using this equation. These were the results. The voltage V3 equals V1 minus R1 I1, and its value was calculated to be 2.32 volts. The measured value of V3 in experiment 3.1.1 was 2.32 volts, which coincided with the calculated value. Experiment 3.2.2. Construct this circuit. Set V equals 4 volts. Then measure V, I1 and I2. The results of experiment 3.2.2. Pause the video, and check the results. Exercise 3.2. This is your homework. Write the currents I1 and I2 as functions of R1, 2, 3, and V. Calculate I1 and I2 using the voltage V measured in the previous experiment. The author of this material is Takeshi Furuhashi, Professor Emeritus, Nagoya University. If you have any questions, send emails to this address.